Okay, this is going to be divisibility for 4 and 8. Okay, so for review, you should have already learned a few other divisibility tests. Some divisibility tests rely on the ones digit, like the test for divisibility by 10, 2, or 5. You look at the ones digit, and depending on what it is, it may or may not pass the divisibility test. For example, for 2, you're looking for an even ones digit. For 5, you're looking for the ones digit to be 5 or 0. So hopefully by now that's review. For 3 and 9, you had to find the sum of all the digits. So for this number, it would be 2 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4, which is 20. And then if that number was divisible by 3, then the whole number would be divisible by 3, and it's not. It was the same with 9. If this sum was divisible by 9, then the whole number would be divisible by 9. It's not. Hopefully that's review too. 4 and 8 are a little bit more complicated, as you'll see in a second. Okay, one trick for divisibility by 4. Any number that is a multiple of 100, like 100 or 200 or 3,000 or any number that has 2 zeros at the end, is going to be divisible by 4. So if you see a number like that, you know automatically divisible by 4. The reason for that is because 100 is divisible by 4. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So because these are multiples, they'll all be divisible as well. That helps us out quite a bit, because if you're looking at a large number, we don't have to worry about the whole number. This part of the number, the hundreds and thousands place value, is going to automatically be divisible by 4, so we only have to worry about checking this part of the number here. Okay, so for this number, 2,836, I don't have to worry about the thousands or hundreds place value. I only have to worry about the tens and ones. So I'm looking at this number 36, and I have to decide, is 36 divisible by 4? I should be able to figure that out just from knowing my times tables, because 4 times 9 is 36, which means 36 divided by 4 is 9. So 36 can be divided by 4 with no remainders. It's divisible by 4. There is a trick for doing divisibility by 4 that I'm not going to put in this video. I think this method is a lot simpler to remember, although it does require a little bit of division. If you want to learn the trick, you can read about it in your textbook or ask me about it in class. It doesn't require division, but it requires a couple rules that you have to remember, so I prefer you to start with this method because it's a lot simpler. Next, we'll do divisibility by 8, which is related. It's a similar type of rule. So, similar to 4s, divisibility by 8, if you have a number that is related to 1,000, like 1,000 or any multiple of 1,000, so any number with 3 zeros will automatically be divisible by 8, because 1,000 is divisible by 8. 1,000 divided by 8 equals 125. The hundreds rule that you learned for 4s doesn't really work with 8s, because 100 can't be divided by 8 without a remainder. But for 1,000, this rule works. So that means if you have a large number like this, you don't have to worry about any of these place values, millions, hundred thousands, 10,000s, or thousands. That part of the number is divisible by 8. You only have to worry about whether or not these digits are divisible by 8. So for this divisibility test, you're always looking at the last 3 digits. Okay, so kind of a challenging example here, because I chose a big number, but it's really not challenging because you know you don't have to worry about this part of the number. You only have to worry about, is that part of the number divisible by 8? If that's divisible by 8, the whole number will be divisible by 8. So just like with 4s, we're just going to do this by dividing. You might actually have to do some long division here. So let's set up some long division for 240 divided by 8. Okay, so 8 doesn't fit into 2. So I've got to go to the next digit. 8 does go into 24, exactly 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. Nothing left over. And the only number to bring down is a 0. 8 goes into 0 0 times. So I have a nice even number. It divided evenly, 30. No remainder, no decimal. So it looks like 240 is divisible by 8. If there was a remainder, that would tell me it can't be evenly divided and it's not divisible. So because 240 is divisible by 8, that means the whole number we started with, 2,168,240, is also divisible by 8. So like 4, there's a trick for 8 that doesn't require any division, and you might want to avoid long division, but this method is a lot simpler. So this is the method to start with. If you feel really comfortable with this, ask me in class, and I'll teach you the tricky method that doesn't require division. One thing to keep in mind for 4 and 8, if it's an odd number, you don't have to do these divisibility tests at all. No odd number will ever be divisible by 4 or 8. They'll always be even numbered. Think about your multiples of 4 and 8. They're all even numbers. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, always even numbers. So that's why an odd number, it would always have at least one left over if you divided it by 4 or 8, so it will never be divisible. So if it's an odd number, instead of doing this divisibility test, you can just say no right away.